God bless. I want to give honor to God who is the head over my life. The Lord laid this in my spirit to bring forth. Um, it's not from a verse from a Bible. It's just a story about Mary Magdalene, okay, who she was and what she did, okay. So the absence of women among the 12 disciples has bothered a few people, but Jesus' close followers clearly included many women. As clear is the fact that Jesus did not treat women as others in his culture did. He treated them with dignity as people with worth. Mary of Magdala was an early follower of Jesus who certainly deserves to be called a disciple, an energetic, impulsive, and caring woman. She not only traveled with Jesus, but also contributed to meeting the needs of his group. She was present at the crucifixion and was on her way to anoint Jesus' body on Sunday morning. When she discovered the empty tomb, Mary was the first to see Jesus after his resurrection. Mary Magdalene is a heartwarming example of thankful living. She was miraculously freed by Jesus when he drove seven demons out of her. In every glimpse we have of Mary, she was acting out her appreciation for the freedom Jesus had given her. That freedom allowed her to stand under Jesus' cross when all the disciples except for John were hiding in fear. After Jesus' death, she intended to show his body every respect like the rest of Jesus' followers. She never expected his bodily resurrection, but she was overjoyed to discover its followers. She was overjoyed to discover Mary's faith was not complicated. It was direct and genuine. She was more eager to believe and obey than to understand everything. Jesus honored her childlike faith by appearing to her first, by entrusting her as the first messenger of good news of his resurrection. So basically, it's saying this is a story about Mary Magdalene. She wasn't a disciple, but and this is saying that she should have been called a disciple because she did all the things that a disciple did. She was to the first person who was present through his crucifixion. Um, she was also the first person to see his resurrection. Um, also, she was the first person to see him. Um, for his resurrection. She was the first person to see that he was on his way back as the first messenger of God, news of his resurrection. Okay, so she was the first one to see that he was coming back soon. Okay, and she was the messenger to let everybody know that he was on his way back. Okay, not only that, Jesus drove seven demons out of Mary Magdalene before he came. Um, and she appreciated this freedom. So she glorified and thanked the Lord for what he had done for her. Okay. So it was the freedom Jesus had given her. That freedom allowed her to stand under Jesus' cross when all the disciples except John were hiding in fear. After Jesus' death, she intended to show his body every respect like the rest of Jesus' followers. She never expected his bodily resurrection, you know, but she was overjoyed to discover it. Mary's faith was not complicated, it was direct and genuine. She was more eager to believe and obey than to understand everything. So, my question is to you: what have Jesus done in your life to make your life change drastically, like Mary Magdalene? Okay, what made it Mary Magdalene wanted to change? It was seven demons that was in Mary Magdalene that the Lord drove out. Okay, so my question to you on this Bible verse, um, what has he done in your life to change your life? to make you want to make a difference for the world. Okay. Like Mary did. See, the Lord did this one drastic change in Mary. Okay. And she continued on with her faith through Jesus because of what the Lord did. Nobody knew where Mary got her faith from, but it was because what the Lord did to Mary for her to want to carry on with her God-like faith, because what he had already done in her life, it changed her miraculously, and she wanted to give her whole life to the Lord. Okay. And this is the story of Mary Magdalene. She wasn't a disciple, but she did the things that a disciple would do for the Lord. It was her godlike faith that changed the world. God bless.